Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone. I am the Urge Warrioress coming to you, documenting my 90 days of dating myself challenge following 90 days of recovery from binge eating patterns. So I'm not going to talk about the binge eating stuff much today because my major revelation for today is much more related to the dating myself challenge. However, I will say for binge eating, what's helped me the most is using, it's kind of a hybrid of using this. I will show it to you real quick again. This method, Catch, Defend, Act, Trust. It's actually a method that I created where basically, it's like a hybrid of that method plus using principles from Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements and Mastery of Love, neither of which are directly related to recovery at all, but they have this this metaphor of having our warrior brain and our parasite brain, and that metaphor really resonates with me in helping with my recovery. So it's kind of a hybrid of those two things that have been helping me the most with my binge eating recovery. And if you want to talk more about that, feel free to email me anytime. Urge Warrioress, same spelling as this channel, and at gmail.com. So here's the big thing today, and I'm taking you with me. Lovely tour of my apartment, I know. So I'm taking you with me because here I have my little, can you guys see this? This is amateur camera work, but basically, I know you can't see all of the details, but there I have my relationship values chart broken down, right? Of different types of romantic related relationships. So there's friends with benefits, dating values, relationship values, and I smeared my lipstick a little bit, didn't I? And long-term relationship / marriage values, right? So in order to really date myself with full integrity, I need to follow the dating values I put in my relationship with myself. So here are the values that I put, right? Honesty, respect, consent, fun, common interests, safety, good communication, physical attraction. Okay, so those are all so if I was dating somebody, right? Those are all of the things that would be important to me. And the dating myself activity that I created today really was around fun, right? Which is important. I want to make dating myself fun. It was to have an artist date, with myself and work on a creative writing project. And I think that I am going to still do that. But part of what I realized today is, and I think I'm doing a relatively good job at doing all of these, partnering with myself to make all of these happen. The thing is, honesty and safety comes up here a little bit too, but honesty can be tricky because you know why? Our brain likes to rationalize, right? Especially the parasite part of our brain that is stuck in old habits and that feeds off of old habits. It likes to rationalize, right? It likes to say, well, in order to have this need met, you have to do this. And I fell into that trap recently, last week, or maybe a few weeks ago. I think it might have been 2 weeks ago by now. As I said, there are certain, this is very personal, the things that I'm disclosing on here, and a lot of it is for a good reason, but I do need to keep some boundaries intact too. I don't want to just blurt out anything. I want to make sure it is clear, concise, useful to my audience, right? But this rationalization thing I think is useful because what happened is, and I don't want to disclose the exact reason why, because again, boundaries, but basically I had a rationalization that since I am missing physical intimacy so much that I created these dating site profiles a while back, right? Shortly after my husband and I split, just because, with no intention of contact anybody, just to kind of test to be quite honest, to just test my sexual market value, as I'm sure like many of us feel like tempted to do in these situations, and to just kind of see like who's out there, like who's looking for like a recently divorced bisexual woman in her mid-30s who doesn't want kids, right? Like what's it like? So I did it just kind of out of like research, but there was at a point a couple weeks ago when I was like, oh, well, it's not like I could hook up with anybody. It's not like I could hook up with people anyway right now because of COVID. So maybe I'll just respond to some people, have like sexy little distractions and things like that. But there were some people that I talked to on there that now seem like they're having an attachment and want to meet me. And I'm like, whoa, what did I give myself into? Now, everybody's dating values are different. My dating values, like, exclusivity when you're just in the dating stage, like, isn't necessarily a thing. So my original rationalization is like, well, it's not like I'd be cheating on myself if I did this, because exclusivity isn't a thing. So yes, technically speaking, that may be accurate, but if I'm valuing honesty and respect, is it respectful that I go off and do that just because I was responding to an urge, basically, when I made the decision to respond to those people? I had something, I had, what is the source fracture wound, right? That I talked about a couple of days ago. That's discussed in Conscious Uncoupling, the source fracture wound. Climbed through the parasite part of my brain and basically like duct taped the warrior's mouth shut and was like, you like there was this need for like, you need external validation, right? Like you need some external validation that whatever, that you're still sexy or whatever. And when it comes down to it, I don't need that. Like I don't need to be like doing that. My life would be fine if I wasn't doing that. Like, in fact, there's somebody in my life who I like very much and have feelings for that way. I'm just not acting on it yet because I want to finish this challenge, And since I'm not acting on that yet, because I want to wait till this challenge is done, if we both feel the same way at that point, so I can practice like responding to my own needs. I'm not used to like being patient like this, I'm the urge warrioress, which means I'm learning to, but I started this whole practice because I had trouble with urges at the beginning, right? So I think I'm just exercising so much discipline in some ways that the parasite was like, respond to people, and and like respond to these people and flirt and all of that. But if I'm honest with myself, I don't need that, and I don't want to be like leading other people on, making them think that I could be available for them in some sort of way when like, nah, I gotta be available for myself. And one of those people lives close to me, apparently, and invited me to a 4th of July party, which I originally was like, yeah, I'll go. But you know what? I don't think I'm going to. Because then I'm going to just keep the cycle going. I got to just nip it in the bud and be with myself for a few more months, which I think I can not only tolerate, but enjoy. But this all comes down to my actions, right? And I think if I go to that 4th of July thing, I am going to be acting in old ways, well, I already said, yeah, like afraid to say no, afraid to set boundaries, honesty and respect for myself. That's where I'm at right now. And before I do any kind of dating or anything like that, just finishing the challenge, I also need to finish conscious uncoupling, right? So I can completely finish, this has a lot of activities in it, finish whatever else I need to do to help move past my marriage. And I'm also going to finish reading The Ethical Slut. I am, because you know what? This book is really good. It talks about all different kinds of relationships, and if you are, it talks about like dating multiple people at a time, like polyamory, all of that, monogamous, monogamish, like all of the different kinds of options, when dating and having relationships with people. And I don't know what I'm going to choose for my next one, but this is nice because it gives a lot of choices. Society tends to tell us that like, oh, monogamy is like the only real choice, and that might be true for a lot of people. It may or may not be true for me. So I am, getting done with this too, and I think this will give me some more boundaries on like, okay, so if you want to date yourself and somebody else, like what's the reason for that, and like what's the reason for that inside, and what parameters do you want to set? So if you do it without boundaries, then or I shouldn't say in general, if I do it without boundaries, then I'm risking honesty and integrity for myself. So yikes, that was a long one. If you hung in there with me, thank you, and I hope this benefited you, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for day 35. Thanks.